Hello guys, and welcome back, and I apologise, I forgot me mic, so unfortunately it is a bit windy, but I want to get on in this last hour of today and do a few jobs to the car, so as in just filming it tomorrow with my microphones, I can't. So what is it? I have decided to go and get another car, but I couldn't resist it. I don't know where this leaves us, but we'll get to that at the end of the video. There's a few too many sitting around at the minute, but this one was a one I've always wanted. In fact, before I got my L200 a couple of years, if you've watched me channel from the beginning, I was going to go and actually spend considerable money on one of these, which was actually at a Honda dealership, a low mileage one, a couple of years newer. So, what is it? There's a few things that Audi doesn't quite tick the boxes for me. It's a perfect car, I ain't gonna lie, but there's a few things I don't like about it. Not that I don't like about it, things that I could get around, but I can't. First up, it hasn't got the tinted windows like the Golf. Holly's car's got them, which we used to put the dogs in, and the Golf did. And unfortunately, in today's society, it's pretty pathetic where things have to be hidden, and unfortunately 2 Springer Spaniels nowadays in the back of a car is the equivalent of having a wallet open with money. People will break it. I'm not saying a car with tinted windows you cannot like do this and see in, but it just detracts from attention. Also, it's quite handy for the summer as well. Not that we'll go far in the summer with dogs in the car, but it does keep the temperature down in the car. So that's one thing it lacks. Second thing, I'm not soft, I work outside, but sometimes when I do me like hiking and walking with the dogs, when I get back to the car, I don't like putting the heaters on in the car, because when you put the heating on, when the dogs are wet and I'm wet, the car just steams up. Yes, you put the air conditioning on and it clears it off, but there's another reason as well. It was when I'm, just before I go out, I don't really like the heaters on either, because it makes the dogs too hot. So what I miss, and it's not for being soft, it's just for those reasons of heated seats. The Audi doesn't have the heated seats, and I love the heated seats. So that was one of our downfalls. And the third one, which is probably the most important one actually, which a lot of you think I'm crazy, of having a big 4-wheel drive, me ML, and not using it through the winter. But as well as that, through the summer, British summer, I do a lot of like hiking and walking with the dogs, so I go up a lot of country tracks, not hard off-road or nothing like that, but over the summer we do a lot of like country fairs and festivals and car shows where they always bring you onto muddy fields. And the Audi, the other day, I took it to this like bit where you turn around. It's like a track, and you go at the top of the track and turn around, and I just kept it moving, because if I hadn't of, it would have gotten stuck. As well as all of the rocks and stuff. You know, my Audi's only like that far off the ground. If I go up Keeldow on some of the tracks and stuff, it's no good. So there are a few downfalls. And as well, a secondary backup car for towing. The Audi, I wouldn't particularly waste my money putting a tow bar on it, and I wouldn't mind this car I'm getting. I would put a tow bar, and it probably would tow the caravan okay. That doesn't mean I'm getting rid of the ML. Ours is nothing, no point in getting rid. But we do, as you know, take 2 cars when we go away with the caravan. That 4-litre petrol's too expensive when we get the site to run about in. So when we stop on local sites, Holly follows in. I don't like using her car because it takes the mick. I have my own car, so she follows us in my own car. So it is quite nice to have a 4-wheel drive car, so that when we're on site, normally what happens is I park the ML in the visitor's car park, and we'll keep this one on site. And normally it involves some of the campsites we go to driving on grass like this. And even in the middle of summer when we've had downpours, the Audi or her Astra will, and the Golf did when we went away, got stuck. So I want a 4-wheel drive. I'm not saying if all 4-wheel drives won't get stuck, but they stand a hell of a lot less chance of getting stuck. Plus, through the winter, I want a car where when it's snowing and icy, it's safe for I walk to work most days, but I can give it to Holly, because where she works is a hill like that, and I feel a bit uneasy when she's got the kids in the car and going to work, so I can just say, look, use mine. So this is going to be, I hope, I haven't checked it on the lift yet. If I've checked it on the lift and it's a write-off or it's absolutely knackered, well, it won't be a write-off because I've done an HPI check on it. You're waiting there, car vertical. Nah, guys, I'm not going to start doing all that nonsense for sponsoring. I had some spare tickets to do free checks that I got off my uncle, and I did a check and it's all clear. But unless I put it on the lift and find there's something seriously bad, I really want to keep this one. So, a lot of years, before I even tell you what this one is are going to be absolutely screaming at us, and you are mental, Dan. Sorry about that. I was debating giving the Audi to Holly, but Holly's got her own private insurance, which she does for her own family. She's insured to drive all my cars on our policy, but she has her own car. And I don't want to get involved with that, so I'm going to let her just keep the Astra. The Astra has been with her for over 10 years, never gives any jip, probably never will. So I don't want to go down that route. But I might have to let the Audi go, guys. If any of you are interested, let us know. I want to get this car up and running, taxed, and use it first. Then I'll make that decision. And I know this is not an Audi, but you know I like me Japanese cars. And I will say I nearly did get finance out and spend big money on one of these. Me and my dad in 2008 went and bought one of these, brand spanking new. Well, I didn't, but I went with my dad and I used to drive it and stuff. And I love them. I absolutely love them. So what is it? I know a lot of you might not like it, but I like them. They are the best, one of the best. Yes, it's a Honda CR-V. This shape only. I'm not keen of the ones before it, and I ain't keen of the one after it. It's only this shape. And guys, I'm absolutely rubbish remembering what mark and whatever it is. I don't know what mark it is. I haven't got a clue. I think it's probably a Mark III maybe. I don't know. But there's a few little differences with this one, why I went for it. It's absolutely minging. I want to let you see cars as I buy them, because I am going to go and wash it. So it really doesn't show it in the best light, but I like to show you the cars as I get them. And I absolutely love this. There's a few reasons why as well. Like I've already mentioned, upgrades to what the Audi's got. I know you might say, well, it's not an Audi, it's a Honda. I know, but to me, a Honda is probably better than an Audi. I know a lot of you will be saying, don't be daft, Dan. Yeah, I work on cars all the time, and I get a lot more faults with our cars than I do with Hondas. The one thing that kill Hondas off is what, guys? Come on, you all know. Rust. And none of us like rust. But can you spot Dan's little tip that I say on them Reg's? You know what I tell you all, but don't take it as gospel, because it doesn't always mean that. You'll see the reg, LC, that is London, central London, and it's spent most of its time in London. Also Barnsley, as you can see, Honda Barnsley. And I can't believe how good this car is underneath. I've had a quick few little looks in the usual areas where they're bad. We'll go and have a look now. This back axle, down there, it may look like it's rusty, like surface rust, but that is absolutely fantastic. They are normally coming off in chunks of rust, and this is absolutely great. I'm trying to get down without getting soaking wet, but it is an absolutely cracking nick. Really, really good condition, as my knee is getting soaking. But yeah, it's in really good nick underneath. That's the main reason I bought it. No rust. Even the wheels, get a look at the wheels. They haven't been reconned, and there's barely any corrosion starting, a tiny bit there. That's a good sign. All these inner arches, perfect. Absolutely no rust, and that is, by the way, metal, not plastic. The only bit of damage is this door. I think it's like creased in a bit there in this bit of trim, but you know what, guys, couldn't care less. I'm not bothered. The car's going to get used on tracks. It's going to get dirty, muddy. The dogs are going to go in, so I'm not even going to go to the extent. I don't know how bad it is because you can't see because of the dirt, but there's definitely some kind of a, that's off my fingers, by the way, when I was actually buying the car, pointing that out to the guy. But hell, I'm not bothered about that. Doesn't bother us. It'll be getting marked and dinted and stuff anyways when we go with the kids and the dogs. Factory fitted roof bars, and I've done 70 mile an hour, and it makes absolutely no noise. Really like the idea of having those on. So, what is it? Right, there's a very important thing about this. These first come out around about 05-ish, 05, 06, and they had the i-CTDI. Don't get us in exactly the right order of those letters. And they were okay, but they were a little bit, not quite as much power as what you would like in a CR-V, put it that way. This shape, this is the last 2 years. They made these to about a 12 plate. This is a late 2010, a 60. What they did, they put the i-DTEC in. Same engine, but a lot has been changed. A lot has been changed. First up, the standard 150 brake. A quick remap gets them up to 200 brake, no bother. Unfortunately, yes, they have acquired a DPS, but I'm not normally too much bother on these. And the way I work on these, there's no bother. But I'm going to get into a few things I want to do with it anyways. but they're a lot more refined. I'll show you under the bonnet now quickly before we get into the details of the car what that actually changed. But this is the one I want. It's the facelift. They've got a different front bumper, a lot more improvements, and these were a cracking car to start with, but yet it's the very last of the line improved, and it's got, like I said, the i-DTEC engine in, which is a lot more refined, bigger turbo, better injectors, totally reworked head. The turbo and the intake manifold are on different sides of the engine now. I'll just quickly show you underneath the bonnet when I can get my hand in. So, use my head as a bonnet wedge here. Just bear with us. Right. So, this being the i-DTEC, yes, unfortunately, it has a DPF. But apart from that, everything else is all positives. So, this is an N22. The old one was an N22A, this is an N22B. There's a lot of difference between an A and B. First up, on the old one, the turbo and the exhaust manifold was down the back, equals nightmare to work on, and the intake manifold was on the front. The N22B moves the exhaust and the turbo to the front of the engine, so it's all, there's a turbo, nicely accessible, and the intake, which you do very little with, down the back. Happy days. But the power and the refinement is just so much better. But this engine was only in this car for 2 years, from 2010 to a 12. That's it. Fortunately, that means there's a few niche parts under here. Yes, guys, I see that. You see that. I'll get that in a minute. So that's the main one of the main reasons I got it. I've always wanted an i-DTEC one of these, but I don't want it in the newer shape one because I'm not keen of the newer shape one compared to this. I love this like bullnose front on this one. It's lovely just how it cuts under. I really do like the front end on this shape. So obviously you can see it's got a relatively new battery on it. Yes, it's got a taped up air intake manifold, pipe, and unfortunately these are about £100 from Honda, and I can't live with that, so I'm just going to spend the money once I've checked it underneath. I'm going to get one ordered this evening. While I'm in here, these are very critical to have a genuine Honda air filter in. I'm getting a genuine Honda air filter, that's about £25. I'm going to do an oil and filter change, nice and easy, and the pollen filter, I've got one of those, that's behind the glove box. Fuel filter, absolute nightmare, 2-hour job on these. It's about the one thing I hate about these. But somebody did change the fuel filter in 2017. That's good enough for me. It's got 150,000 on, that was 86. Trust us, I ain't going to worry about that. Maybe one day when I'm feeling a good mood, I'll do it, but it's buried down the back of their mental idea. But they're designed not to be changed every service. That's still a stupid idea, but that's that anyways. So, genuine filter, the air intake pipe, I'm going to clean them off. DPF, it's running perfectly fine, but these are nice and easy. I'm just going to whip out this temperature, oxygen, NOx sensor, whatever the goddamn it is. And I'm actually going to, rather than putting it through the pressure sensor, I'm going to put all the cleaner down into there, just as a bit of preventative. Timing chain on these, nothing to worry about. Just make sure the oil's changed regular. It's got full service history. So that's as much really as what I can go about under the bonnet. But definitely the N22B, the DTEC, is the one to go for. The other one's nothing wrong with them, by far from a bad engine. But these are just that bit more refined. It really does improve the driving experience no end. I think it's got about I don't know, 10, 20 brake horsepower improvement, but with a remap, these things are unbelievable. Clutch and flywheel are usually weak on them. That's been done. And the manuals can tow 2 ton, automatics can only tow 1500. This is the manual one I wanted, especially the fact the clutch has been done. All very good condition Dunlop tyres. Of course, the Dunlop would have to be at the bottom. All new. This was advised on the MOT. Somebody's gone out and not just getting a cheapie. It's a good sign of the owner, previous owner, getting a genuine branded tyre. Just get a look at them shockers. Yes, all the gators go like that on these, but they're normally absolutely rotten, them cups. It's like brand new. Brand new. It's at 150,000 mile. That is, honestly, I would love to show you a comparison of a car from around here in the northeast. So that's a plus point. A few other things. It's the ES spec. EX Executive is the top spec, and with that as an extra, you get the glass roof, which I find causes leaking bits at the back here, so that's good. I don't want that. You get a NAF reversing camera, which always breaks. You don't get that. And as well as that, you get a sat-nav system in them, which is very outdated, and it affects the climate control system. So again, they're the only 3 things we didn't get. But what we did get, the only thing you didn't get with the EX was leather and heated seats and stuff, but somebody done an optional spec on this. And I love these little tags. Full Alcantara seats, which also are heated, and they are absolutely lovely. I really like them, so I'm really over the moon with that. This is the DPF cleaner, guys, the Normfest. I'm going to stick that in time. Oil filter, pollen filter, air filter from Honda. I'm waiting to come with the pipe. These are four-wheel drive, like I mentioned. Fantastic idea, much better than the VAG system, much better than the Toyota system. Just standard two-wheel drive all the time. And it's like a dual pump system. It's very similar to a DSG, but way less complicated. And they can get a little bit tight at times. And I'm going to do a process, which I'll show you in my next video, where you do a flush on the rear diff. You use 3 litres of oil. You stick it in. You set all the wheels away spinning on the lift when the engine's running. Then let it drain, put new in, do the same, do that 3 times over. Because these are front wheel drive all the time. When the front wheels slip, the back wheels kick in. But unfortunately, that happens you can do 10,000 mile, and you'll be lucky if you do 500 yards of the front wheels in real time spinning. So what you do is you put them on the lift, stick it into like 4th gear at idle. It sets the wheels away about 40 mile an hour, and it thinks it's skidding. So it runs the 4-wheel drive system continuously, which warms all the oil up in the diff, unseizes the little clutch plates in the diff, and when you drain it out, all the black oil comes out. You put new in, you flush it, and you do that 3 times over. So it only cost us about £45 for a kit with some washers and 3 litres of the dual pump oil. Genuine Honda oil, has to be genuine Honda oil. So yeah, so that's that. So we'll be getting a full engine service. And like I've said, the 4-wheel drive system is serviced. The air conditioning is working perfect. I've done a few upgrades on the lights, but it would be a bit daft for us to show you it now because I'm doing a video next. So it would be just daft. I've done this backwards, guys. So I'll show you that next. These headlamps, a lot of it's just dirt. I am actually going to get me polisher on them. It may bring them up to be a lot better than what they are. I've done upgrades, but I'm not getting into that. And of course, we all know I don't want to get the car wet, so I'm taking it in the garage. Headlamp washer moment, and my Audi's got them on. They're rather fun. But you know what, guys? It's me being sad here, and I know you'll all be laughing. This car's special. Why is it special? Because it's got a separate button. A separate button for headlamp washers. That's cool. I like that. It does still work with the when you've got the lights on and you wash your windscreen. But I like that. That's cool. All the brakes are good. All the tyres are good. All the wheels are good. The lock and wheel nut will be getting removed as soon as I can get some. Unfortunately, this only has a lock and wheel nut key, so I can't just chuck them away. I'm going to have to see. But like you said, Dunlop tyres, all round. Factory fitted tinted windows, like I was saying, heated seats. I like the high up. That's something else really about the Audi. I'm not going to lie, I like being that bit higher up. So you can, especially in the summer, when all the weeds are grown, when you can just see just slightly above the weed line when you come to junctions, I really like that. But the tinted windows, again, I like it. And this car is in cracking condition. Somebody's gone to the extra effort of fitting these mats, which I want to pull. But again, these cars have got a flat floor. Not many cars, SUVs, have this. Even the front, you can walk from side to side because the floor is completely flat. I love that. I really do love that with these. So yeah, over the moon at that. I've just spotted a few little things I'm going to order when I order that pipe, if they're not silly money, from Honda. If it's not silly money, I don't like that. That is actually bordering MOT advisory on the brake. The clutch isn't part of it. I am actually going to order, unless it's silly money, a brake pedal rubber, and I'll show you what else I'm going to order. Come with 2 keys as well. I will show you the spec in a minute. I'm just showing you around it. But the back seats are in fantastic condition. The sun is affecting that. Again, all Alcantara. I love these little tags, Alcantara. Got them, like I said, I showed you on the front seats. I love that. Only other car I've had like this was a Saab, where it showed you that. And another reason, the boots on these are absolutely massive, huge, and it's nice and low for me dog, slightly higher than the Audi, but we can't have it all. But they are huge. It's got all of the extra floor system, which you can add up onto here. They're worth quite a bit of money on their own. The seats all fold down flat, fantastic, and even got the proper. Unfortunately, when I probably have the dogs in, I may have to move that, unfortunately. I don't know why that has to sit like stupid like that in the middle for. It would be nice if it sat further back, but unfortunately that's probably going to have to get put in the loft or the garage when I put me boot buddy into this. But I love these Hondas because they haven't, like the Audi's got all the stupid carpet. Why do you need carpet on the back of a boot? I like all of this hard plastic, so all the dog hairs, somebody's already had some kind of a dog in here. All you've got to cover up is that area and this area, and all of this, which is difficult to cover. It doesn't matter, it's just plastic. Spare wheel, I've actually topped that up today. That's what else I'm going to order. I've done an upgrade on the bulbs, but these stupid little things snap. Again, if they're silly money, I'm not ordering them, but I will with that pipe from Honda. See how much 4 covers for these are. They do no purpose, but they just look awful. If that's cheap, I'll get them. If they're like £5 each or something, definitely not, because I personally think £100 for that pipe is ridiculous. So yeah, there we go. We'll jump in and I'll show you a few things on the interior, and we'll leave it at that, because I want to get on and drop the oil out and start doing the diff fluid when I get 2 minutes. So jump in. ES spec. You basically get everything you do on the EX spec bar full leather, but this Alcantara is a spec above leather, so this has actually got one above the EX spec for seats wise, and like I've said, 2-stage heated seats, which I like. And also, yes, you get this bit of a boring looking sound system, but it's better than the outdated sat nav, which 9 times out of 10 doesn't work, it malfunctions. So for me, I'd rather have this than the sat nav. And the only other thing you don't get is the glass roof. But again, it gets too hot in the summer and stuff. Not really bothered. But yeah, interior-wise, you get all the spec. Like I've mentioned, 4 electric windows, working. We'll just switch it on. I'll find the key there. I'll show you a few bits around it. So, all Hondas like to beep for some reason. We'll just give it a few seconds to finish beeping for no apparent reason. So, basic-ish sound system, but it's still got, I love that, like some kind of USB system in there. I do like that on the dash as well. Fully working climate control system, and it does actually work, so that's good. Like I've said, I love that. It's got factory fitted parking sensors front and back. I forgot to mention that, but there's a few of them not working, so you get a little bit of an error coming up, but I will look into changing them, get some replacement ones. But I love that headlamp washer switch. You've got your standard lights, front fog lights, wipers, electric folding mirrors, which is a must for these SUVs. And they work. And on quite a lot of these, they don't work because there's a little switch inside of them. Auto dip dim mirror, absolute must, as well as tinted windows. That's something else that Audi hasn't got, is the auto dip dim mirror, which I thought it would have. Nor does it have tinted windows in the back. And from having the Golf and quite a few other cars recently, I find that a big miss, and not having that. So that's got this on. Like I said, dual zone climate control, 6-speed manual, loads of cubby holes and storage. That's those little units I was on about. The seats and everything, even, you know, for 156,000 miles, this car drives, honestly, like brand spanking new. And it's got all like the information system up there. Electric mirrors, obviously. It's just got the general kind of Honda spec, and it's got all the spec that I like. We'll turn it round to me now. So what do you think? I know a lot of you will be telling us straight up, you're an absolute idiot, Dan, to get rid of that Audi and keep this. But at the beginning of the video, I've explained my points. I like being higher up. The tinted windows in the back. I must say, the heated seats, when I've been out and I'm cold, I'm really cold when we've been out. I know we're coming into summer, like spring now, but I do like the heated seats, especially for short journeys as well. And I don't like all the heat going in the car when I've got the dogs in, because it just amplifies the steaming up inside, which I hate. Again, working air conditioning. It's, you know, the 4-wheel drive. It's got all the bits that I want that the Audi just ever so slightly lacks. But I've got to do some thinking. I'm not in a particular hurry to sell. But I think I'd rather Holly keep her car. I think I'd rather have this, to be honest. And I might have to let the Audi go, but it's a damn shame, because I've front and rear discs and pads. That's cost us an absolute fortune. Timing belt, remap, EGR delete, full service. Oh, you name it. It's had absolutely everything. Brand new battery just last week, £160–170, Bosch S4. Oh, it's depressing us thinking how much. I'm going to make a loss on that car to sell it, which is why I'm in two minds not to sell it, just to keep it if I was going to go on a long journey, I would jump in the CRV every time, purely just for that elevated view, just for being that bit higher up, not down right on the floor. I love the big mirrors. I don't know, I just like this size SUV, and I like the four-wheel drive, because I'm not one of these people who don't go off-road. I do go places where you need the four-wheel drive, and these are a good four-wheel drive. Yes, the Audi's got presence, and I like it. This has got more miles than the Audi, but it's a bit newer, obviously. So yeah, let us know your thoughts. I won't take offence, just be honest. I know a lot of you will say I'm absolutely mental to sell that Audi and have a Honda. But to me, I prefer Japanese cars. I like Hondas and stuff anyways, better than the German stuff I always have. And like I've said, the one thing that lets these down is rot, which this one doesn't have because it's a London car. I spent a lot of its time down south, where there's a lot less salt on the roads. But yeah, I'm going to crack on now. Going to get on with a few of these jobs, and I'll catch you all soon. But let us know your thoughts, leave a comment below. If you haven't already done so, hit the like, subscribe, and all these little projects, all the work I do and all the parts I order does cost us a lot of money, and I don't always make that money back. So all the little donations helps towards little tips and tricks and stuff like that I give everybody out free of charge. Not many places, if you ring a garage up and stuff, give you tips and tricks. They just turn around and say book it in, if not go somewhere else. So I do this to help all you guys out as best as I can. So I'll catch you all on another video. You know where the link is below if you want to help out. Buy me a coffee, super thanks. But if not, just hit the like. It helps me out an absolute mint. Catch you soon, guys.